The internet has also made it easier for job seekers to put themselves out there, showcasing their own resumes and skills. Technology has not only made it easier for job seekers to find job advertisements, but also it helps them through what we call personal branding more easily to become their own advertisements, like their own billboards of sort. So with us here in the studio tonight, we've got three wonderful people. One is not in the studio, one is going to join us virtually, and that's what we're talking about. It's Tech Monday, so we have to use all our instruments, all the opportunities we have. And tonight we have with us Oswald Anunadaga, CEO of Floodgates Limited, and we have Felix Darko, who's joining us via Zoom. He's a tech expert, and for the first time with us in the studio, our very own Kweku Owusu, who is tech director here at Asaase Radio. He's very well versed in all things tech, and he did an Ivy League school as well, so he knows his stuff. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening, Moses.
Hi, Felix, are you with us? Well, let's wait for Felix as he connects via Zoom. So let's begin with you two gentlemen, Oswald and Kweku. So talking about recruitment online, using the digital space for work. What are the benefits of using technology in recruitment and in the selection process? You have been through that a lot, Kweku. Can you share a bit of that experience with us?
Thank you for having me on your show, Moses. It's great to be on your show. I'm a little bit tense because it's my first time on radio.
Oh, don't be tense. We have these chats every time, down there.
I know.
Just feel at home.
Yeah. Online recruitment is the way to go now. You reach a larger audience, target audience. It's cost effective, and you can get different kinds of people with different skill sets. At the same time, it becomes a problem too.
How is that a problem? Is it because you don't have that natural personal interaction with a person?
Exactly. Dealing with people one-on-one, meeting the person physically, you can determine some things.
But then Zoom is supposed to help you with some of these things. You're able to detect, some of those little things that you might also detect while talking to the person in person, isn't it?
No.
No. All right, we'll come back to you. Yeah. All right, Let's come to you, Oswald. The benefits of using technology in recruitment and the selection process.
Yes, so tech as an enabler has also transformed this area. And so people who are seeking for jobs, generally, the job advertisements are online now. And that means that you don't need to go to and look for a newspaper or some kind of magazine or certain primitive. Okay, I will call them primitive, but they are not that primitive sources. Yeah, non-traditional sources of information to be able to put out adverts. So HR is able to put out adverts online and have hundreds of thousands of people. So there's wider reach for adverts that are put online. And also this means that because more people are able to see them, you can get more applications coming in. Now, this means that you can be able to source applications from people that you previously might not have been able to reach. And for job seekers, it's good because you could monitor certain job boards, you could monitor certain areas, you could use certain search features on websites like LinkedIn and other websites like Jobberman and co.
But is this new? I mean, it's not really new, is it? I've been using this for the past 2 decades. Yeah. I remember somewhere in the 2000s, actually in 1999, I remember using, these online platforms, quite well for my job search. And I remember there was one in France called Viadio, which became very popular, not so popular now. Yeah. But these things have been in existence for quite some time.
You know what has actually been transformed now? So along the process, the adverts, the job seeking, the candidate selection, Now you are able to even conduct tests online for people who are for the candidates, for the applicants. So applicants you are able to pre-screen applicants to certain levels. There are websites like Crossover that screen you for your skills in the particular job. There are certain tests that the IQ tests if you have IQ requirements for those jobs, and amongst other things. So
how do
are
you do
able to,
IQ test via online?
yeah, you can do it. It's
You can
it's
do
pretty
it. It's the
straightforward.
way. Sorry, it's the way the questions are set, or it's the way you go about it. I'm dealing with different individuals. But let me say something here. Doing online recruitment alone by itself is not effective. It has to be a combination of the two. You use online to sieve through, because you're going to get a lot of, excuse my language, but garbage coming in.
Right.
So you need.
Hello?
Oh, Felix is online. Hold on. Kweku is speaking, okay? Give us a little minute. Okay.
So as I said, you need a combination of the two. You get all these CVs coming in on your online portal. You sieve through them and select those who fit the job requirements. Then you have them come in. So I think for it to be effective, you have to combine both.
Yeah. Also, but there's also the case where the location is not in Ghana. So, for example, the job market for Ghanaians living in Ghana is not just Ghana for now, and there are a lot of jobs that people can do in other areas: remote working, outsourcing, picking up outsourced contracts from locations across the country. There are a lot of people now going into remote work, freelancing for organizations and individuals across the world. So that area, it's difficult to actually get it. So maybe Zoom would come in there to provide a personalized experience to a certain degree, like we are doing with Felix now.
So, Felix, you're joining us via Zoom.
Let's interview him and see if we can.
Zoom, did I just call you Zoom, Felix? So we're talking about the role of social networks, professional social networks, because much unlike what we knew in the beginning, where you just post your whatever you were looking for as in a job online on a website somewhere, now we actually have social networking sites that are considered professional, right? What role do they play in job search and recruitment, and do we have any of them around? Some that we should be interested in as young professionals who've just left university and looking for jobs.
Right. Well, the most obvious and biggest one there, of course, is LinkedIn. Essentially a, shall we call it, Facebook for professionals, which allows you to not only look for jobs, but you can also connect with other professionals in your field. You can speak to people that you might never have access to in quote unquote the real world. And I agree a lot with what was said earlier about the fact that you need to combine both online and offline, or let's say not so online methods when you're recruiting. So I can speak both as somebody who's looked for a job as well as somebody who's given a job. In looking for it, going online is almost like the world is your oyster. There's so many opportunities. But in that sphere, you really need to send out, dozens, if not hundreds of applications a day. And that's kind of leads to that quote unquote garbage that was mentioned as well. But at the same time, you also need to push through your own personal networks. And so that's where something like LinkedIn becomes a bit more effective, is because when I post a job on my LinkedIn, I know it's people that are in my circle that will see that, right? And I have control over people, or over the people that I'm connected with, over the people who can see my posts.
So talking about own your own personal networks, should young people continue to seek conventional jobs using traditional avenues like Kweku is advising? Because he, the guy is the tech director over here, and he doesn't believe that you should only, use these online platforms to seek job opportunities. He believes you should also try to use the traditional avenues.
I do agree, but I will also say that personally, I've never walked into an office to just submit a resume hoping that they had an open position. And I know that's quite prevalent, especially here in Ghana, where we've had people that just walk in, especially when graduation happens from the universities and guys are starting to go on to their national service. they will spend days and weeks just walking into places, submitting their CVs, trying to get placement.
All right, so all three of you are tech directors. Would you accept someone who walks into your office with a paper resume?
Yeah.
Would you do that?
I would do that.
I would do that.
What about you,
I
Gweko?
would do that, yeah.
Felix?
I would consider them. It does maybe paint them in a different light, but not necessarily a negative one.
No, not exactly. I always try to keep myself to a standard where I would be able to walk into an organization and demonstrate value to them and show them that I am valuable to your organization. I have looked at what you do. I am interested in doing this for you. If you hire me, this is what I can do. I feel like it's a great first step, especially if you are able to communicate and build rapport with people. It's actually a good way to leave an impression on people's minds.
Building rapport, physical.
Yeah.
Okay.
With online recruitment, it's not a bad thing in itself, but some professions you can't even do that. It won't work. And there's a cost factor to it that most people don't even think about. Most of these platforms, you have a recurring charge that you pay every month, especially for bigger organizations. It might not be that big, but it's still a cost factor. And the man hours going through all these resumes, because it's online, you're going to get thousands of resumes coming in. Going through these resumes, trying to find the right fit can also be a problem.
So you're talking from the recruiter's point of view.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, the person who is looking for recruitment finds this easier because then they're able to apply to so many jobs for, in a short period of time, you would have been able to send tens of resumes.
Yeah.
Right. So COVID-19 has also increased our appreciation of remote work, and tech has made this possible. True or false?
True.
Felix?
100%.
Okay. So I'm home trying to do some work. Now to you, Kweko, I'm home trying to do some work and you need me to explain stuff for you. My Zoom is not working. What do we do?
Regular call.
Oh, okay. That's also tech.
Yeah. There's FaceTime. There are so many alternatives.
Well,
Yeah.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
You can even do it with WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
and
Yeah,
voice
WhatsApp,
notes.
WhatsApp calls,
okay, so
Telegram.
okay.
There are too many at this point.
I actually
Yeah.
have a funny story here. One of my colleagues was actually hired entirely off of a WhatsApp voice note interview. They tried using Google Meet, didn't work. Tried using Zoom, didn't work. And so they just left each other voice notes back and forth, trying to have a conversation. And that constituted this person's interview. And eventually they got hired from that interview. So it's very doable with.
Where was the person? In Mogadishu or something?
In Mali, actually.
Oh, okay, well, not too far. So online platforms like LinkedIn, as we talked about, Viadio, as we talked about, Crossover, which you suggested, Felix, and Upwork offer great networking opportunities and possibilities. But do they really offer the opportunities that we're really talking about, job opportunities? Do you know people who are recruited off those platforms?
Yeah, a lot of them. So many of them. Yeah, especially in the tech field. Yeah, a lot of people go online. People are looking for jobs. When you go on Upwork, you can create your profile. And one good thing that these platforms help you to do is to gauge yourself against the competition. So you can look at other people who offer the same services. Maybe they build websites or they do this, and you're able to see their experience. You're able to see their portfolios and other things. Yeah, the way they present themselves to people and see the very successful ones. And that also informs the way you approach it. I think it's really useful, and especially in the tech field and jobs where you don't need to be physically present to.
Before we came here, I was talking to Henry Kobler, who's another tech professional, and he was talking about, platforms like Upwork, where you need a certain rating to be up there, to be noticed. And he was talking about some of the fake profiles, not fake profiles, but how people pay other people to rate them. And sometimes you'd pay a company, say, based in Asia. I won't mention countries, but based in Asia. Well, I can mention countries, can't I? I mean, in India and Pakistan, where you can actually pay people to boost your rankings and rate you better. It does not mean that you are a much better service provider. And sometimes looking for work would also involve some sort of, some of these machinations to get you up there. And it's not fair, is it?
Does
Well, not
anyone
much
want to
is
take
fair.
that? Yeah. I think I think that is not fair. Just like a lot of things in this
So
world,
now,
most
how
things
do
are
I
not fair.
trust these
No,
systems
so that's why you go through
as a recruiter?
as a recruiter, you go through the applications that you receive. In-person interviews are not really about demonstrating your ability, unless it's a job where you need to deliver on some form of human behavioral interaction, like sales and marketing, where they want to see your confidence and levels and other things. It's your CV that shows your experience. And if they're able to call up people to say, this person says they did this work for you, how did it go? And they're able to follow up and verify on that work. So when you're able to pull out the candidates that you feel work well, you can go the extra mile to actually check these things with people. And in the end, you'll be able to make a proper selection. But I don't think it's supposed to be fair, because most things in this world are not fair at all.
And also to
If I
add,
could add to
okay,
that.
go ahead. Let me add to that quickly. Then I'll, to add to that, these platforms usually have algorithms in the back end that picks up on keywords, so that you don't waste your time. So, like, say you have, let's say, a word of DB, a database administrator. Okay, so let's say a company is looking for a database administrator. All CVs that have database administrators will be pushed to this company. So these platforms have algorithms to help you not waste man hours, sieving
Right.
through CVs.
CVs. Okay, so they kind of rank them according to your order of priority. You were going to say something, Felix.
Yes, I was going to mention the point of the automation that's really coming up now in a lot of these recruitment websites. There's even sort of enterprise software that's dedicated to this. They use advanced machine learning algorithms to scan your resume, to not only to verify whether or not it is true, but also to identify if you have the key skills that the role requires. But furthermore, I think at the end of the day, you require that human element of verification, and there's nothing that really trumps an interview with a human being, where you actually ask the right questions and understand if they're actually they know what they're talking about. And only, I feel like, at least currently with current technology, only a human being can do that.
Right. And some people tend to think or even believe that since everything has been done online, you have some machine, some robot somewhere doing all the sifting through and looking at your CV. And, so they're really big on using the right keywords and the right grammar, using Grammarly, to construct their sentences, because the algorithms will pick their CVs faster than the others. But mostly, more often than not, isn't it? We do have people behind those screens, human beings actually, sifting through those resumes and trying to find that human aspect of your resume. All right.
So the thing is that there are things that we don't notice, but when you analyze data, you're able to notice. For example, fraudulent applications have certain things that run through. So when you're able to analyze these, you're able to just pick them out and use machines to.
So traditionals still is much of the essence. I mean, you have to be traditional in the way you structure your or architect, as a friend of mine would say. You architect your letters and your approach to have that human feel to your resumes. Now, there is another thing we need to talk about. All right, you're in your sofa and you're looking for jobs in other parts of the world. This is what tech offers you. Yeah, this is what we call the gig economy, isn't it? So you're there sort of competing with other people from around the world. Are we seeing a lot of this around here?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. I know people who, when they're out of full-time employment for a while, they can take like 6 months to a year, and then they just pick up jobs online, and they work for people. You finish, you submit them. There's a website called Fiverr, which is really good, where you just go on and say, I'll design a poster for you for $20 or $5 or $10. And so someone will see it and then they'll click on it, they see your portfolio, and then they ask you to do it. So with that kind of platform, if you have a good profile, you're able to build it up. People send things, then continue advertising it. People live on that. A lot of people make a lot of money on it, especially I know in Nigeria, a lot of people work on Fiverr.
All right, and there are those infographics websites as well, where you can actually buy infographic designs for forever.
Do you know what people do?
Tell me.
Now, when they say what a lot of consultants do is when they come in see what you need, and then they pick up everything they need to do. They go on Fiverr, they get people, they pay them off to do it, they go and sleep, and then they come back and collect the items and submit them. So, I mean, a lot of people are gaming the system in different kinds of ways.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I think about 10, 15 years ago, I did work with someone who didn't have the budget to run their department. And so what they did was, well, whatever you gave them, they would go to an Indian platform. And so they finally had a group of people working for them in India, and they formed their own company. And this person would send them the money, his budget for the month, and these people would work. And it went on really, really well and smoothly. Yeah. And
that's a beautiful thing, actually.
Yeah, and it happens a lot in the US in the health care industry, like filing claims. So most of these ones are just putting in codes, so data entry, and it's done outside the country. In India, you can go online, go to Blue Cross Blue Shield, pick up like jobs from them. You're going to data entry, so they're going to pay according to accuracy. The less mistakes you make, pay. So there are no people in Ghana doing that.
All right, and then we've got the call centers as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of jobs out there for young people. I have, when I'm in an Uber or you're in a trotro from time to time, just to hear people, people's concerns and the opportunities there are in the, job market, because I really do believe that when you have problems, you also have solutions, and those solutions are opportunities. And so I like to hear some of these stories because it helps you sort of come up with all these wonderful ideas. And so I have been talking to some young people and telling them that, look, if you can't find a job, it means there is a solution somewhere, and a lot of people are looking for this. So there is a demand. There should be a market somewhere. So these are some of the things that we have. I've been discussing with young people who are looking for jobs. But then for these recruitment websites, we're talking about Upwork and we're talking about crossovers. Do we have local ones? Do we have Ghana-made ones?
Yeah, there are a few. A lot of them are in early stage. It's difficult for me to pull them up off the top of my head. But even at Floodgates, we are working on a talent management platform, to help streamline the recruitment process, make it easier for organizations to recruit, make it easier for people to be able to find jobs and all.
Felix, are there any platforms that are local?
Yes. So there is one. This is specific for software developers. It's called Codelin, Codeln. And so what they are is they essentially help both sides. So they help both the talent and the recruiters. So you can go on there. It's basically project-based evaluation. So you go on there, you do a project on their platform, and it basically evaluates how well you were able to do it. And then it shows that profile to all recruiters that are looking for that specific skill set. So if you're, let's say, a JavaScript developer, you go on, you do a JavaScript project, and then if somebody's looking for that specific skill set, they can then go on and search for that and find all the people, the top scorers, and hire them. And there's a lot of remote working opportunities on the site as well, usually for foreign companies, well-paying jobs. So there's definitely things out there. And Codelin is growing pretty fast as well. And so you can expect the number of opportunities on there to be growing as well.
All right, Kweku.
You just mentioned Henry. Yeah. Henry has one of those platforms.
Right.
So it'll be great to have him in to discuss it. With his, you have all skill sets on the platform. So let's say you need a graphic designer. You go to that website, you put the job description there. The graphic designers will bid for that particular job.
Do you know the name of that website?
I don't remember.
Oh, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay,
yeah,
so we'll have you here
one.
next week and we'll talk about it. So the opportunities abound. For those looking for jobs, look online. Talk to tech people. they have lots of wonderful ideas, and you can be competing with other people from around, the world, from other countries, and you never know. Sometimes I've had conversations with some of these tech giants and experts who say that, the talent here in Ghana is amazing. And we have people who can actually compete healthily with people in Europe, and, America and India and Pakistan. And so we shouldn't give up. I mean, we can compete with people from other parts of the world. So it's been wonderful having you here with us. Oswald Ononadaga, CEO of Floodgates, and Kweku Owusu, Director Tech at Asaase Radio. And then we also have Felix Darko, who is a tech expert. Thank you very much, chaps, for joining us today. My name is Prince Moses. Next week on Tech Monday, we'll be talking about other things, tech. All right, then. Have a very good night.
Thank you.